Guess what got me started working out? It was intense self-hatred and insecurity. I remember being around 16 or 17, and I was skinny as fuck. I mean, I was completely skin and bones with zero muscle. I had already had skinny genes to begin with from my parents, but I was also doing swim team on top of that. If you know anything about cardio, swimming burns a lot of calories. So any of the food I ate was likely being burnt off. I remember a story that I've told before, which is one time one of the swim team coaches actually straight up asked me if I was being fed enough at home. Like, he thought that I was anorexic. Like, I wouldn't eat or I was being underfed, which wasn't true. I was eating a lot, actually. I was eating very nutritious foods, chicken, rice, fish, meats, vegetables. But I was extremely underweight and skinny. I don't have any pictures. I wish I could put some pictures up on screen, but I don't really have any of before I started working out. It sort of shows my physique. But I was a very, very skinny and scrawny kid. It was not a good look. And I remember around that age, a lot of guys are very kind of self-conscious about how they look. Actually, a lot of girls too. When you're a teenager, you're kind of hormonal. You're very self-conscious. It's kind of natural, right? So I was acutely aware that I was very, very skinny. And it wasn't, if you're kind of started overweight, you may not understand how being skinny looks bad too. Like, it looks really bad. You look weak, you look comical. It's not a good look at all. And I remember being acutely aware of that. And social media, because I was on Instagram, when you're kind of in that place of self-hatred and insecurity, it'll often serve up kind of two types of content for you. It'll serve up depressing content, where it's like the depressed people all wallow in their misery, right? So it's like, oh, no one understands how I feel. No one understands how I feel. That's sort of like sad, kind of pathetic content. Or it'll show you, it'll try to show you like wholesome content, like, oh, you need to stop caring about what other people think of you, right? Like, just don't be insecure. Don't be insecure. Just love yourself. You'll be okay. So I was basically insecure about how I looked. Insecure. I didn't like how I looked. But I never considered searching for a solution, ever. It was by the grace of God that my father, around 17, when I was 17 years old, introduced me to working out for the very first time. I'd seen like maybe a bit of content on it on Instagram and YouTube, but I didn't, my brain didn't connect it mentally to, okay, this is how you look more attractive. This is how you get bigger, build an aesthetic physique, is you need to focus on working out. It's not like fashion. It's not just self-love. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. So at 17 years old, my father first got me into working out. We had like a bench downstairs and a couple of dumbbells. And I just went the fuck at it, dude. I was so sick of myself and how I looked. And it wasn't even so much like I didn't love myself. I hated that I didn't look the way I wanted to, right? And some people that hear that might go like, oh, oh, that's bad mental health. That's bad mental health. That's bad for you. Like, oh, fucking whatever, dude. It's like, well, self-acceptance was the answer. Self-love was the answer. Not really. I like mental health too. I think mental health is very important. But you can't substitute acute self-awareness and insecurity, if you have something you're genuinely insecure about, with just self-acceptance and indifference and like, oh, I just want to feel happy. Sometimes you have to do the fucking hard work. You have to improve yourself. So at that point in my life, no matter who told me, the wholesome advice of, don't hate yourself, don't be insecure, I decided, no, fuck you. I'm going to get jacked. basically more jacked than like other people in my area. I just want to be the most jacked version of myself ever. And so I did the whole thing. I got protein. I drank a lot of protein shakes. I worked out a lot. My dad was actually surprised, very surprised that I had gotten attached to it as much as I did. And over time, I got stronger. I started seeing progress. Now, here's the weird thing. As I started working out, I began to notice that people would start exaggerating how I looked. They would start exaggerating my progress. Now, perhaps it was kind of a supportive thing, which is nice. But whenever I mentioned I was like working out really heavy to some people, they would sort of be like, "Oh, why? You already look fine. Like, I think you look great already." This is very early on. So I knew they were lying to me. I knew that they were making it up. I didn't mind comments like, "Well, you're looking bigger." You know, that seemed like, okay, thank you. That's very supportive. I don't feel any bigger, but that's very supportive. But it was comments like, "Oh, you already look fine. You already look good." That really fucking got to me. Those same type of people, every time I skipped a day, right? Maybe I would like mention like, "Oh man, I skipped yesterday. I hate skipping the gym." They almost seem supportive of me skipping. They're like, no. It's fine. Go easy on yourself. Just relax. You go very hard on yourself. Just relax. It's okay that you skipped. You work very hard. You know, you already look great. I think it's fine that you skipped. Isn't that very weird? I didn't understand it at the time. All I knew was my insecurity, the kind of self-hate I had towards me being skinny and me not being jacked and having an aesthetic physique, was the thing that was driving me forwards and getting me progress. It was not the wholesome mental health advice. That was getting me nowhere. And so I leaned into the self-hate, which I know sounds terrible, but it was kind of a form of self-love. It was like, okay, man, you've let yourself go. We're going to fix it at all costs. It's not the kind of self-hate that's like, it goes away, right? So I leaned into that. I leaned into the insecurity despite how bad it was and whatever. And I continue to see results. Fast forward to a couple years later, all right? I'm with one of my exes, okay? And I have this track record of getting my exes into the gym, right? And I'm gonna sound like an asshole. She wasn't in her best shape. She was still very, very pretty. So I don't want to sound like I'm being an asshole at all. Like she was still very pretty. I was very attracted to her. She wasn't in the best shape. She wasn't in the best shape that she wanted to be in, right? So basically one day I said to her, "Look, I think you already look amazing. But I know the gym for me has helped a lot with my mental health. It's helped a lot with my confidence. And it's made me feel healthier. Like I feel great. I would love to get you in there if you're interested." She's like, "Okay, yeah, maybe." And then we went on like a gym date and we sort of worked out together. That was fun. And then she was like, "All right, I'm going to keep doing this." And so she would keep going on a routine, right? Because I loved it so much. Like when I talk about the gym, I'm very charismatic. I love it so much. Like I make other people love it, right? She was definitely insecure about how she looked, right? For sure. I mean, many girls are. But she didn't join for how she looked. She joined because I said, you know, you'll be more confident, you'll be healthier. But when she texted me with her progress or thoughts about the gym, maybe she'd just gotten done with a workout, something like that. What do you think we talked about? Do you think that we talked about how confident she was feeling? Do you think we talked about how healthy she was feeling? Or do you think we talked about how she looked? She would text me, "I'm frustrated. The scale still says the same number, but I do feel like I've toned down, I've lost body fat, and I've sort of gained muscle. I feel like I look better." And I'll say, "It's true, you have." We wouldn't talk about fucking confidence. We wouldn't talk about how healthy she was feeling, her energy levels or some shit, because she didn't care. She, like most people, was concerned with how she looked, her attractiveness, and that's why she joined the gym. There seems to be this taboo around wanting to look better. A lot of it's like insecurity. No one wants to seem insecure. Everyone wants to seem confident in themselves. Insecurity is painted as this extremely bad thing. You can't be insecure because that shows weakness, internal weakness, excuse me, and that's bad. Why would you want to be internally weak when you can be confident and mentally strong and, happy? Like, just be satisfied with yourself. Now, here's the thing. I think that real insecurity, if you have maybe a hole in your spirit, right? Maybe you have some trauma, maybe you have whatever, something that drives you to keep searching for validation, something that keeps, eating away at your mental health, no matter your physical goals or whatever. I think that is bad, right? Real insecurity is bad. This is why I've been surrounding insecurity with air quotes this entire video. Okay? Real insecurity is bad. But here's the thing. Most people just have goals that they secretly want, but will not achieve out of fear. Insecurity has become this kind of, this buzzword, this insult towards people who want to achieve anything. It's, okay, if you want to get more girls, you're insecure. You want to make more money, you're insecure. You want to be liked more, you're insecure. You want to build an aesthetic physique, you're just insecure. Just accept yourself. Just love yourself. Just stop wanting more. Stop wanting more. Don't have goals. Just love yourself. And it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Coming to terms with this taboo word, this insecurity, was exactly how I improved my looks. It was comparing myself to others, looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I am insecure about that about myself. I don't like that about myself. That got me results. It was the acceptance of flaws. It was not this pretending to not be insecure. It was, yep, I'm insecure about that. I want to fix that. I am going to work towards fixing that. Don't be scared of other people's opinions. Honest to God. Especially the people that say, don't be insecure. Those people are fucking idiots. Okay? You're allowed to have flaws that you want to fix. It's not cringe or insecure to want to look more attractive. Okay? It isn't. Having body, whatever it is, where you're insecure about how your body looks. It's not insecure to desire to look more attractive. That's a natural human impulse. Society, the larger mainstream opinion, is that you should not desire to look more attractive because those people are lazy and entitled. The two things that people like you and me should despise because we're people of honor, of discipline, right? We're people that are self-accepting. This is what I find so interesting. The people that are the most self-aware are often the most accepting of their insecurities and their flaws. Isn't that very weird? The people that sort of pretend that they're satisfied with where they are honestly often the most insecure. Maybe they don't have a girlfriend, they're out of shape, they don't make a lot of money. They just kind of accept their lot in life because they're secure. But the people that seem to have the most introspection, the most ambition, seem like the people that are the most insecure. They're just yeah, I'm not happy with where I'm at. I am not happy with where I'm at. And if that's true, I don't know about you, but I want to be insecure. I'll just be the insecure guy. That's okay. The insecure guy, again. It's not insecure to want to look better. It isn't. It's not insecure to desire to go to the gym and build yourself up. It's not insecure to compare yourself to others either. That's what's important. It is not insecure to compare yourself to others. How in the hell is that insecure? That's realistic, right? Isn't that such weird advice? Don't compare yourself to others. But why? Now, yeah, sure, we get exposed to a lot of different people. Many of them are very successful, and it's unrealistic for us to attain, sometimes we give into envy and jealousy, and we're just like, oh man, I suck compared to them. Sometimes it is bad for your mental health. But when it comes to your goals, why not compare yourself to other people in that area? Because if you do that, then instead of coddling your feelings, you can say, okay, I am at a lower position than they are. They have what I want. I want to achieve what they have. How do I do that? Instead of getting like afraid or like, I don't know. Yeah, I think fear of seeming insecure is far worse than being insecure. And that's just the message that I wanted to talk about today. Don't give a fuck what the normies think. You cannot care about what the normies think. The normies are fucking idiots. Okay? Imagine you went to Jeff Nippard or Sam Sulek, like the pinnacle of the role models in your specific field, right? Imagine you went to those people and you said, no, you're insecure. You let your insecurity get the better of you, and you looked fine back years ago before you made any progress. You looked fine back then. I don't know why you continued. You're insecure. Do you see how fucking like ridiculous that sounds? Imagine if they had listened to that person, that normie, back before they started making progress. Imagine that. They'd be like, oh yeah, I must be insecure. I just need to be self-accepting. I just need some self-love, and then I'll feel better. I don't know why I'm doing all this. It must be because I'm insecure. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? It's this concept of crabs in a bucket. Okay? When you are in a bucket full of other crabs, right? Normies. When you are a normie and other people see you as normies, and they're also normies. They're the peasants with like no opinion. They just listen to what people tell them. They have stupid opinions. And then you try to be better. You know what crabs in a bucket do? If one tries to crawl out, all of the other ones immediately grab it and drag it back down. This is real. This describes exactly what I'm talking about. Don't listen to people that tell you you're insecure for having ambitious goals. Okay, for not being satisfied with where you're at right now. Sometimes, let's be honest, between you and me, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, I wouldn't be satisfied with where you are either. I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I have a journey I'm gonna fucking go on. And that's okay. It's not insecure to want to achieve more, to want to look better. So, if you got any value from this video, there's something that you can do, which is a win-win for both of us, which is to scroll down, click the subscribe button, go do that right now. I win because I get a new subscriber, and you win because anytime I have a new insight, or learn something new, or try something new, then I can make a video and directly give you value. So we both win. Go do that right now. Thank you for watching, and bye.